Hey guys, how you all doing? How's it going? And if you're starting, how's your night? Hope you had or are having an amazing and a beautiful day. So today we're going to be working on a very simple yet a bit complex project. We're going to be building the Hangman game. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. So the first thing we're going to do is let's have a list of what I think I had the list already before. So let me just I will start recording the video before and I had some issues. I had to cut it. But let me just explain what I've done so far. So this here is the list that we're going to have the words randomly selected from which these are supposed to guess. You get? And then here we're going to have like a function to select a random word from here. And now this return, if you watch the previous video, I didn't talk about return. So when you're working with a list, any variable that is called within, sorry, function, any variable that is called within that function is a local variable, which means it cannot be accessed outside that function. But if you want to be able to access a variable outside of that function, you can either call the global variable in front of the variable as you're declaring it, or you can use this return function. Although the thing with return function is that once you return something, that function has ended. So yeah, so what this function, this select word, the whole idea of this function is just to select a random word from this list. And here we're now selecting a random word and assign it into this word variable here. The next thing I want to do is I want to declare define a new list. And should I create a new function to do this? Let's just create multiple functions for the fun of it. We are going to define a new function to what should we call it? Um I know not so many things. Okay. Um um user guesses. User guesses. I didn't spell that well. User guesses. Let's put a list here. So the way the hangman works is that you guess random letters, and depending on the letters you guess, if the letter exists inside the list, then it's going to like show you what position it is. And like I remember when I was growing up, the game I played was Kango. That is the hangman game I grew up where it had this. I'll put a picture here so you can see it. So user underscore guesses, and what it's going to do is going to be for I in so it's going to be we want to get this word here. So this stuff is going to take an argument which is going to be w. So I'm going to say for I in w, um let's create a new list, a new should we put the list outside? Should we put the list outside? Let's put the list here. The list here is going to be user. I don't know why. Okay, so it's going to be an empty list. So for I in w, we're going to say um user dot append, and we're just going to put an asterisk to show that like unknown guesses. So what we're doing now is that for all the guesses the user is making, like sorry, for like if we generate a random word here, for example, Python 1 2 3 4 5 6, we're going to have six asterisks inside there. That's basically what the thing is just doing. So after I've gotten word, we're now going to just do that. So I'm just going to call user guess list, and we're going to pass in word into it because word is what is going to hold our variable guesses. Okay, what else do we need to do? We need to calculate the amount of light the user has. So we're going to set um guesses is going to be equal to 6. Let's give these as 6 rounds for guesses, and let's just leave that for now. What else do we need to do? So we've generated something that will generate a random word. We have generated something that has assigned like to show us like the unknown stuff. Okay, and I think I should create another list. Let's create another list, and let's call this use list. Is going to be words to guess. Because right now the word the user is guessing is in a string format and we want to change it to a list, right? So it's just going to be an empty list also. And we're going to see over here, or should we just do it inside this function? Set word equals to select word. And we're going to say what do I call it? Word to guess. So it's going to be word to guess is going to be equals to, I see they're already even doing it for us. Word dot split. So we want to split that white spaces. So we don't need to pass in anything there. All right. So if you don't know what split is, what split does is it turns your string into a list. So depending on what you split at, if you split at empty space, you're just going to turn each individual word to a list. Okay. So what else do we need to do? So right, let's start working on the logic of the game. Should I still do it inside the same function? Yeah, let's do that. Then just comment this game logic. All right. So the first thing we want to do is want to check if the user's life is still remaining. So we'll use a while loop. So I've not really spoken on much on while loop yet, but I'm going to do that very soon. So while guesses is greater than zero, all right. Um, actually, let me come out here and let's define another function. So let's say to def get user. Okay. So we're going to collect a function from a user. So it's going to be let's just use v. It's going to be equal to um it's going to be equal to input um it's going to be equal to input pick a letter. Now I can go because usually the ones you have clicked on the letter before, you're not supposed to be able to get the letter again. But we're not going to add that into here. When we start working with Tikinta, we're going to revisit this program. We're just going to assume that these are smart enough to know that if you tried the letter before and it didn't work, you shouldn't try the letter again. We're going to say pick a letter, or should I just do that? Let's do it. So there's a function called string that gives us access to that letter, but let's just do it manually. Let's say L is going to be equals to no, that is going to be stress. You can do that on your own, Sha. Just list out. Then that's it. If once you that picks letter, remove it from the list. But you know what? We'll do that later. So pick a letter. Okay. So once the user picks a letter, what we want to happen is, so I worked on this logic here. I was testing it out to see. So once user picks a letter, we're now going to say for I in A is the list we want to get from. So let me just copy this out and I'll explain it. It's very simple, Sha. Just I'm too lazy to type. And so let's just put this here. So for I in the list that has the user's word is word to guess. So for I in word to guess, if I is equal, so now we're checking like for each individual letter in that string, if it's equal to what the user guessed here. So if the user's guess here is v, so if I is equals to v, we're now going to create a new variable b, which is going to be equals to, so what did I use as a here? What was a? I think a is the list that saved the user's input. Okay, no, sorry. So A is like this word. We need to get what index location it's at. That we'll be able to save it at that same index in this new list that we created. So B is going to be equals to the current location of I in this list, what to guess. And we're now going to call NB. N here is the new list where the user stuff is being saved. So that is user B, and everything's supposed to be, I didn't indent it, everything's supposed to be indented. So it's only going to work if I exist. It's only going to work if I exist. So B is going to be equals to, we're going to get the current index of it, and user B is going to be equals to V, which is the word the user tried that. So let's save that. So basically what is happening is we're going to collect one letter from the user. Then if the letter the user gave us is inside the word that we want them to guess from, is going to now get the index where it's located in the word we want to guess from. And you know that new asterisk collection stuff we created is going to replace that asterisk with this. So else is just going to pass an error. But let's just ignore else. Once how can we think it out or fix that? So while guess is greater than zero, we're just going to call um get underscore user. Okay, yes, so let's handle that because we need to reduce the user's life. So we're going to say else is going to be guesses. And just copy these. Is going to be minus equal to one. So just going to be reducing one life from it. Okay. What else? What else? What else? All right. So now we need to handle another thing. Now, let's come here and handle that. So let's check if to see if there's no longer asterisks in that stuff. So we're going to check and see if asterisks not in um if asterisk not in, what is the name of this list? User. I feel I'm doing too much right now. I'm not even testing it, so we just need to test quickly. If asterisk not in user, then we're going to print um you won, you won. Okay. Gosh, I feel I'm doing too much. Okay. And let's come here and try something again. We're going to, okay, if this stuff, if if guesses is greater than zero, is greater than zero, then that's when we're going to remove one from it. Else print um you lost. Let me put my formatted string here. The word was, how did I select the word? Okay, word. So let's just try this first. If it doesn't work, we'll now start fixing the errors where we have it. Alright, let's save this. And we've called Hangman down there. Okay. Alright, so my fingers are crossed. My fingers are like really, really crossed. Because usually this I'm supposed to like pass it in here. I'm supposed to pass the stuff in here. But let's just try this first. If not, I'm just trying to like look for a way to maneuver it. Let's see if it works. If not, we'll start fixing the errors. You know, let's just handle this. Let's handle these stuffs inside this main function here. Let's handle this inside the main function. Then just cut this out. Okay. So I guess V is equals to input for I in what to guess if I is equals to V B D okay, let's try this now. Let's see if this will work better. Let's just end this and let's try running it again. Okay. So it's asking us to pick a letter. So let's try letter F. Okay, it's not letting the user know if they want. Okay, let me handle this also. Let me handle this. So pick a letter for okay. Let me come here and print. Let's print user so the user can see how far they are doing so far. And okay, we can handle like ensuring the user only place one input, but we can leave that for now. We'll do that later. Oh shit, this is a long one. Which word do I have that is this long? Let's try P. Okay, no. So let me just cheat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Damn. Do I have anyone that is this long? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, it's development. So let's cheat. It's not development. Or is that the game is just not registering it? What is happening? Well, let's move this stuff into here. Let's move this stuff. Let's move it into here. And let's move this. Let's cut this. This is where we had the user underscore guesses underscore list. Oh shit, no, I found my error. I didn't return it. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it and see if it will work. Oh, hmm. Okay, let me just go down. Oh, okay. What else? Oh wait, no. I know I can just let me assign that into a variable, but let's just continue, sure. Let's just continue. Okay. Um, where are we? Okay, so after I append it here, let's just move this stuff into our function. Okay, let's move this into our function too. Alright, so I was able to fix the issue. So I forgot what was wrong was that when we were like appending the word, like when we're splitting it, so it didn't really split. It just put the whole word into the list. So instead, what I decided to do is just I looked through the word. So here, so I said for S in word, then I now appended it into so that each one will be an individual letter. So that fixed the issue. But then I just went a step further to just make the game more presentable so that the game will end. Because even if you did I guess the word correctly, the game wasn't ending. So I pushed everything back into the loop. So it will just end as the loop is ending. So I now came in. Remember this was outside. So I said if asterisk is not in user, print you one and exit. So exit is to end. You can also use quit. You can use sys exit. There are different ones you can use. But I said if guess is equals to zero is less than zero, print you lost. That means if you don't have any other guesses. So if using this now, I was to run the program. So I should pick a letter. So it chose R. So let's just look at what the word is so we know what we're guessing for. I think it's computer. That's the only one that we have that ends with R. Let's just be guessing everything. So yeah, see, if you look what you can see is replacing the words where it's supposed to be. You can see. So yeah, that's our program. So I've been able to fix the error, and yeah, the source code will be in the description below. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. And yeah,